Light freighters are one of the most common and versatile commercial ships in the Star Wars galaxy. They can be used to transport goods or passengers, defend larger freighters and stations from pirates, commit piracy instead, and even fight the Empire. You might even say they're better at just about anything you can use them for except freight. They're the flatbeds and box trucks of Star Wars. You can do just about anything with them if you put your mind to it. In this video, we'll look at some of the best light freighters money can buy. One of them will be the VCX-100, so there will be spoilers for Ahsoka Episode 4 and 5. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is the top 6 light freighters in Star Wars. Number 6. ZH-40 Tribune. We'll start off with a relatively unknown freighter, the Starfeld Industries ZH-40 Tribune. This light freighter was designed for the Smuggler's Run attraction at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but it has made a couple of appearances in shows as well. It measured about 30 to 35 meters long by 18 to 20 meters wide. It was extremely well armed with 6 forward light laser cannons, 1 heavy laser cannon, and at least 1 dual laser turret. It could carry 85 metric tons of cargo, which was less than most other light freighters, but still an adequate amount. It could also carry additional cargo externally with arms on the underside of its outriggers. We don't know its top speed, but with 5 sublight engines it was probably very fast. 4 of these engines were built by Novaldex, the company that built the Event Horizon engines of the A-Wing, a famously fast starfighter. Now, all of this could be operated by a crew of 4, meaning that either this ship is an incredible feat of automation or those guys are very busy. Presumably, the crew would be a pilot, co-pilot, gunner, and loadmaster, though the loadmaster could probably be a gunner as well. One of these ships was owned by notorious pirate Hondo Ohnaka, who used his ZH-40, named the Katuni, to raid First Order supply chains and sell their fuel and equipment to the Resistance. If it's good enough for Hondo, it's good enough for me. Number 5. Kazellis-class light freighter. Keeping with the obscure for number 5, we have the Kazellis-class light freighter. The Kazellis was created for a 1995 issue of Star Wars Adventure Journal, but it is better known for its appearances in several Star Wars tabletop role-playing game sourcebooks. This ship was an elegant and comfortable light freighter designed to reach a different market than the typical, more industrial light freighters. It was 28 meters long by about 33 meters wide. It was armed with a quad laser turret, but like many light freighters, it was highly modular, and its weapons and most other components could be replaced by most amateur mechanics. Kazellis Corporation sold many different modules you could install, but it was also compatible with most aftermarket light freighter mods and even parts from more famous companies like the Corellian Engineering Corporation. Much of its popularity came from its incredibly cheap price of 50,000 credits new or 23,000 used. It required 1 pilot and could carry 3 passengers and a respectable 100 tons of cargo. These passengers were carried in relative luxury, as the stock Kazellis sacrificed some of its potential cargo space for amenities such as the machine shop, medical bay, and armory, which were typically not found on light freighters. It was almost like a cross between a yacht and a freighter in this regard. Of course, these modules could be replaced with more cargo space if preferred, or the existing cargo hold could be replaced with more luxuries to fully convert it into a yacht. It was also known for its speed, which could reach up to 1,000 kilometers per hour or 621 miles per hour in atmosphere. Number 4. YT-2400. The Corellian Engineering Corporation is the manufacturer of light freighters, dominating the market so thoroughly that it's usually better to just sell accessories for CEC freighters than it is to try to compete with them. One of CEC's most popular product lines was the YT series, and one of the most popular models in that series was the YT 2400. I've already covered the YT 2400 before, so I'll make it quick. The YT 2400 was 21 meters long by 28.5 meters wide. It cost 130,000 credits. This steep price bought you 2 dual laser turrets, optional concussion missile launchers, and an impressive cargo capacity of 150 tons, plus additional storage space with magnetic grapplers on the bottom. It had a minimum crew of 1 and could carry 6 passengers. It could reach speeds of 800 kilometers per hour or 497 miles per hour. Number 3. Fondor Hallcraft. At the risk of reusing ships too many times in one video, the next freighter on our list is the Fondor Hallcraft. This ship was barely big enough to qualify as a light freighter and might be better classified as a super light freighter, courier, or transport instead. It measured about 23 meters long and 17 meters wide in flight or 13 meters wide in landing mode. We don't know what a stock Hallcraft is armed with, but the retractable dual laser turret and 2 wingtip cannons were likely included. The droid in Luthen's Hallcraft was added by him, but I don't see him having the patience to build his own droid from scratch, so this is probably a common aftermarket accessory. The droid is capable of following basic flight plans and controlling most of the ship's functions, giving it a much greater degree of automation than most ships this size, making it much easier for solo pilots to fly. We don't know what its cargo or passenger capacities were, but its small size probably limited them. I would estimate 75 metric tons of cargo or less compared to the size of the other ships, and probably 1 to 3 passengers. Number 2. YT 1300. The YT 1300 is considered by many to be the king of light freighters, and for good reason. It was incredibly sturdy and easy to modify even by CEC's high standards. This ship was beloved by everyone from small shipping companies and infamous smugglers, including the notorious Han Solo. Most YT 1300s were heavily modified by their owners to the point where it would not be an exaggeration to say that no 2 individual ships were identical. Fresh out of the factory, it measured 34.75 meters long by 22 meters wide. It was armed with 1 dorsal and 1 ventral single laser cannon, but these were one of the most popular items to modify, usually being replaced by 2 quad laser cannons. It had a crew of 2 and a maximum atmospheric speed of 800 kilometers per hour. The YT 1300 came in 2 default configurations, passenger and freight. The passenger model could carry 9 to 15 passengers and 25 tons of cargo, while the freight model could carry 6 passengers and 100 tons of cargo. The front of the ship bore its distinctive twin cargo mandibles, which could allow it to act as a barge pusher to move a massive amount of cargo. Like the Kazellis and YT 2400, the YT 1300 was also a highly modular design with nearly every major structural component being replaceable. CEC offered dozens of options for each, and aftermarket companies supplied hundreds more. The basic model would run you a respectable 100,000 credits new and at least 25,000 credits used, though ships with more impressive modifications could cost as much as a new one or more. Number 1. VCX 100. The YT 1300 may have been the gold standard of light freighters in terms of popularity, but as far as design goes, the VCX 100 reigned supreme. It may not have been as modular as other CEC products, but what it lacked in customization, it made up for in capacity, utility, and durability. It stretched the boundaries of what could be considered a light freighter almost to the breaking point. It measured a relatively humongous 43.9 meters long by 34 meters wide and 14.5 meters tall. It was the only ship on this list, and one of the only light freighters in general, to have more than 1 deck, of which it had 3 linked by a central ladder. Its 4 engines pushed it to a blistering 1,025 kilometers per hour, or 637 miles per hour. It was armed with 1 forward and 1 dorsal dual laser turret, but what really put this ship in a league of its own was the auxiliary starfighter it carried, which when docked added an additional single laser turret and rear dual cannon to the VCX 100's arsenal. This ship could be used as a defensive starfighter or as a shuttle for the crew to travel to away missions. I'll go into greater detail on this fighter and the VCX-100 in general when I make a standalone video all about it later, probably after the last episode of Ahsoka, so I can use more of the gorgeous live-action footage of it. The VCX-100 had a crew of 4 with a pilot, co-pilot, an engineer, and 2 gunners. It could also carry 6 passengers. Its total cargo capacity is unknown, but due to its massive cargo holds, it was probably at least double that of the YT-1300, probably around 200 to 250 tons. All this would cost you 155,000 credits new, but nearly every person or business who owned one would wholeheartedly agree that it was worth every penny. I hope you enjoyed this look at the best light freighters in the galaxy. I left out quite a few, like the dozen other YT series freighters and numerous Millennium Falcon ripoffs, but I might make a video going over all of those someday. I also hope you enjoyed my new logo sequence at the beginning. I had a sudden urge to make something cool in After Effects, and this is what I came up with. It still needs a bit of tweaking, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think, what light freighter is your favorite, and what you'd like to see next. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you later. RFC out.